Welcome everybody to another episode of the Everything Horror Podcast. My name is Paul Doski, and joining me today is the lovely fiance,
Tessa Baker.
and we have the none other than the brain nerd of Sleepaway Camp, all the way from part 1 to part 10 or whatever. It's none other than Dustin Walker. Dustin, welcome back.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody?
And then finally, we got the local nerd of all comic books and other type of classiness. Especially, don't get them started on the Rutland fair ground of like comic books of Marvel and DC or whoever that was. But anyway, everybody, please welcome for the first time on this one, Jared Goodrich. Welcome, Jared.
Welcome,
Yeah,
Jared.
Thank you.
So, Jared, just to kick things off just a little bit since you're new to the show, can you just tell us a little bit about you and why did you want to start a comic book store?
My name is Jared Goodrich. I own Night Legion Comics in Rutland, Vermont. And why I wanted to start this business was actually a dream of mine since I was about 15 or 16 years old. I have always been fascinated with comics since I got into them in high school fully. Most of my life, but I got heavily into them when I was in high school, and I always played with the idea of owning one. And luckily enough, in 2020, when I lost my job in the beginning of the year, my wonderful wife gave me the suggestion to start the business. And early 2021, I got into a program that helped me kickstart the process to starting my business. And within a few months later, I was the first comic book store in Rutland, Vermont in 23 years.
Yeah, and there you go. So that's a nice little touch up. Yeah, and congratulations for having a comic book, which that's very hard to maintain, as we already know. So, but yeah, congratulations nonetheless, Jared, for being your own boss. How jealous are we all about this anyway? So, yeah.
Yeah, totally jealous.
So anyway, we're gonna start this little segment off by saying that pray. So, this is kind of a tricky question in a way, but we'll start off with Dustin because Dustin hasn't been here for a while. But Dustin, do you feel so as you were watching Prey, or even before Prey, like let's just say the first little teaser trailer, um, did you have high hope for this? Like, did you feel like it was gonna be good, or did you feel like you just weren't too sure of how, you were going to go into Prey?
Specifically on Prey, like I was following the background, the making of, and all that, and it was originally supposed to come out in theaters, right? But then they pulled it from theaters and they cut the budget. Did not have high hopes for it. Thought it was going to be pure trash. And the CG in the trailer didn't look good. That really doesn't bother me as long as the characters are good. But yeah, I had pretty low expectations, especially since I'm not a huge fan of the sequels. I like Predator 1 and 2, and I like the Predators movie fine, but AVP and all that wasn't a huge fan of. The Predator, I think I might have watched 15 minutes of it, and that was a movie I was super stoked on. And so I'd never gone back and watched that one, so didn't have too high hopes for it going into Prey.
I hadn't heard anything about much of it until you had actually mentioned it to me that they were making this movie and that it was coming to Hulu. So I didn't watch any trailers for it or anything. I kind of went into this movie blind. So I was excited in some ways because I had to wait a few days to watch it once it first came out because of certain issues I ran into. But every review that I had listened to, because I'd listened to a lot of non-spoiler type reviews and everything to see what I thought of it, and every review of it was super positive. So going into it, I was excited to finally see this film, and I was not disappointed.
Well, at first, before we even started watching it, you and I were talking about what we were hoping, and we're like, please let them do a Predator movie right, just for once. Besides the originals, which the first two were great, but just after that, it was just like, what the fuck am I watching? But then we got to Prey, and we started watching it, and we're like, oh, this isn't bad. And I'm not going to say too much yet, but we were just really, really hoping for it to be really good. Like, we wanted a Predator movie done right so bad since the originals, it wasn't even funny.
Yeah, and to touch on that for just 1 second, before we move on, is, yeah, I mean, I think I've only seen the Predator once in full, and I just could not wait for that movie to fucking stop, because it was just like Tessa was saying, what the hell am I watching? And it really did become like a bore fest in the Predator. Predators with the S at the end. I actually thought that was kind of unique in a way, and it still wasn't bad, but it was like a nice little take. And that's where they did bring in the Predator dogs, whatever the hell they were calling them. But and then we kind of saw them in the Predator again, which I don't know if it was really necessary in that movie, but it was just there probably for just some feeling. But and in all reality, yes, I was really looking forward to this movie, and I was just like, oh God, I really hope my feelings for this of hoping that it's good is, not lying to myself, and that I'm gonna walk into it and get a door slammed to my face or something. So yeah, but yeah. So without further ado, let's see what we can get into. So, for just in case for some reason somebody doesn't know what Prey is, it's basically the plot line or the plot of this is a skilled Comanche warrior protects her tribe from a highly evolved alien predator that hunts humans for sport, fighting against wilderness, dangerous colonisters, and this mysterious creature to keep her people safe. So this is like an all-out war for her to prove that she can basically fight and
Comanche.
yeah, and become basically the chief. All right, so Jared, not to put you on the spot, buddy, but I hate to do this. So I'd like to hear your thoughts first, since you're new to this. So what did you think of Prey?
So it is everything I wanted in a Predator film since the first one. Going into it and everything, the representation of the Comanche people was so well done in this film, and the historian side of me really enjoyed the fact to see a early colonial North America portrayed the way it was, and just from the beginning of the film was like the young lady Amber I can't remember the actress's name, Midthunder, Amber Midthunder's character. She thinks she sees a Thunderbird and she out of the sky, and we all know what's happening. And it continued the way it continued with the story and her trying to prove herself as a warrior and a hunter and everything, and with obviously if anybody, like, we're all Predator fans here, that like this Predator that starts to show up throughout the film is, I would assume, an initiate. because the rankings of the Predators vary, and the way it progressed and everything, and leading to my favorite part of the fight with the bear, so well shot and everything, and it was really cool to see the fight and the struggle between the bear and the Predator, and that was well done. And yeah, throughout like I said, the Amber Midbender did such a wonderful job playing the character, and it leading to the ending and everything. Like, I don't, like, we could all talk about it and everything, but like, in general, this whole film, I'd give it a solid, probably a 9 out of 10 for myself. So it's an action film that it's a good action film that I've been waiting for.
Well, I mean, I can't argue that. So, Tessa, what would you like to add to your thoughts about Prey?
What would I like to add? Well, let's see here. Beautiful fucking atmosphere. Loved the atmosphere. Loved how they conveyed the Comanches. Everything was just fucking beautiful, right down to the details of the Predator, which I fucking loved this Predator. Like, I was like, Paul could tell you, he was like, he could see my face, and I was just like blown away, because I was like, finally, a fucking Predator that does not solely rely on technology and stealth. This bastard likes to get dirty, and I mean, like, get in there and be really combative and everything. Hands on. I was just like, yes, finally. And it was just, I don't know, I don't really have anything negative to say about this freaking movie. I really don't. Like, Paul and I, we were talking about it at the end, and I was like, I really can't think of anything negative to say about this. Can you? Because, I mean, it wasn't overdone with CGI. It used just enough CGI, and it used it in the right way, not overly stupid and everything. And I loved everybody's character designs. I loved Naru. I loved her brother Tal. Trying to remember the dog's name. Shari or something like that. Or I'm trying to remember the dog's name that she called it. It begins with an S. Anyways, I loved the dog. For the dog not being trained, like, properly, you wouldn't even have known, because how well the dog worked with Amber's character. And I don't know, it was just a fucking beautiful and kick-ass fucking movie, and I really don't have anything negative to say about it. I really don't.
Garbage. Typical Mary Sue feminazi bullcrap.
Oh,
Pointless.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get
the fuck out of here right now. Get out.
I love this movie. I love the characters. I thought it looked great. The CG. I mean, it's noticeable. It's the weakest part, probably, is the CG, but that doesn't bother me, bad CG. And I don't think the CG is really that awful on it. The main character, like I said it, I think in the Sleepaway Camp review, I tend to like prefer female leads in like action movies and stuff, as long as the female lead isn't shown to be powerful at the detriment of like the male characters. Like, the only reason this female is so strong is because all the males are retarded or dumb and weak. But I thought they had a nice balance between her and all the other males in the tribe. It's not that she's so much stronger than the rest of them. It's that she is like a better tactician than the rest of them. Like they say in the movie, she notices things that they don't tend to notice. But yeah, the Predator was great. I love the fact that he's an actual hunter in this movie. He's not just a movie monster. Her brother was great. I love the relationship between the brother and the sister and the dog.
Sorry, I think it's the dog name. Sorry, S
Yeah,
A
I
R
thought the dog
I
was
I.
great. There were so many times. There was like real suspense in this movie, which is missing from
In a
most
lot of
movies.
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's actual suspense. There's a few times where I thought the dog was gonna die, and you're on the edge of your seat for
Like
this
with the
dog
like with the fucking bear fight.
with the bear fight. Exactly.
Yeah, I was like on fucking edge. I'm like, please don't kill the dog. Please don't kill the dog.
The dog died and I'm rioting. Game over.
But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I mean, so I've been trying to think. If I had to rate this movie, I would almost want to give it a 8 out of 10. I think like it wasn't bad, but I feel like there was still maybe something a little bit more. And I think it was that mud part, which we'll go into in a little bit. But I swear we were going to see a little bit more with the mud, but unfortunately, it did become a little predictable, which we'll get maybe to that. But otherwise, yes, I was going to riot if the dog died. Um,
My wife was too.
um, yeah, well, I think we're all animal lovers. So, I mean, I know Dustin has his own dog, so I bet.
Yeah, I'll add my rating after you're done.
And then, just like what Tessa was saying, like the atmosphere was phenomenal. Like I just loved every aspect of it, and almost felt fresh. Like it kind of reminded me some clips of like Predators and a little bit of like even the very first Predator, and that was a really nice touch to the atmospheric of possibly even an Easter egg or like a nod to those other films as well. But bringing bringing the Predator into a much uh, older or earlier time would probably be the best decision here of this wording is that now it kind of opens up the gaps of, well, what else can the Predator possibly find himself in the history time, which I think Jared you were mentioning because you're a big history nerd too. So, yeah, it kind of makes me wonder, like, could we possibly see the Predator show up for like I don't know the American Revolution? Like that would be kind of interesting. Um, I don't know how I would feel about maybe World War I or Civil War, but I mean, I guess if they could do it right, kind of like what they did with Prey, I think I'd be on board just to see like what they could do. Could maybe in each film, there maybe the Predator can become a little bit more technical, like have a little bit more tech
Technologically
handy.
advanced.
Yeah, because that would be kind of cool to kind of see that. Like, it's almost like they're evolving while the world is also evolving in a way. Because it's kind of like with, like I said, the guns. Um, like look at the Winchester rifle. Like look how many people died by the hands of the Winchester rifle and stuff like that. And that is why, like, not to go off more topic, but that is why we have the Winchester Mystery House, thanks to Sarah Winchester and her uh, husband that died mysteriously, basically, as I'm going to call it, because, yeah, that was a weird time. Tuberculosis took to her husband, and she became a widow, and she ended up building the weirdest, mysterious house ever in California. And it's, as people would tell you, was built by ghosts of people that were possibly victims by the very own Winchester rifle. But anyway, they're going back now. But I think they could do that very well. However, though, it became a little predictable. And then, as much as I would kind of like, as much as I enjoyed the ending, I almost felt though it wasn't good enough for me in a way because once the ending came, it was just like really, like like I knew there was something with the mud, but like really, but I would stick to an 8 out of 10. at least. The music was phenomenal too. Like, I need this on a soundtrack. Okay,
All
I
right.
need.
I'm going to add a couple of things. And Jared and Dustin, you're not going to believe this, but I actually noticed something in the film at first that Paul did not. I caught on to an Easter egg that Paul did not at first, and I had to point it out to him and explain to him. Now, how well do you guys remember the first two Predator movies? Dustin, I'm assuming you remember it very well, right?
Pretty good, I'm sure.
Do you remember the revolver?
Right. Yeah, the little pirates of all from the second one.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I noticed that, and I'm like, wait, that's not... Oh, it is. I'm like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, that scene specifically made me watch the credits. I was like, was that the dude's name? That's the guy who... But I don't think that was his revolver or whatever, or flintlock or whatever it was. I think he just had it. He took it from somebody.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he must have.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Secondly,
Hang on a minute. So, Jared, did you catch on to the pistol?
No, not.
the flintlock pistol.
I watched the second one a lot growing up. So.
I haven't seen the second. Like, I've seen the first one many a times. I have maybe seen the second one a handful of times. And
Okay.
so it's been a very long time since I've seen the second one.
So the flintlock pistol that we see in Prey is actually the very same flintlock pistol that appears in Predator 2 that was given to the guy that beat the Predator by one of the ancients. It was given to him as like a gift, like a rite of passage type of thing.
Okay, I remember that.
Kind of like, was it fucking Alien versus Predator or whatever? Where the other ancient gave the girl the staff.
Yes, that was the first one.
Battle staff or whatever.
Yeah, that was the first Alien
So,
versus
yeah,
Predator.
kind of like that. So, that's where that came in. So I was like, I see you.
And I'm sorry. So what was your second one, real quick, Tessa? What was the second one that you were going to say? I'm sorry.
I liked how, and I apologize if this is a spoiler or whatever. I'm going to try not to spoil it too badly. But I liked how Naru uses the Predator's technology against him. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say what she uses, but that was fucking clever. I don't care who you are. That was clever.
That was pretty cool.
That was
pretty good.
Pretty clever.
Cool.
I was like, ooh. And I know Paul was kind of hoping to see more mud, but
Just a little bit.
I think the flower that she found, that she uses, is supposed to replace the aspect of the mud.
Yes.
Which I thought that was fucking cool too. I don't know who else thought that was cool, but I thought that was cool. I was like, ooh.
Well, I think why I say that is because, we kind of got used to Arnold, covering himself in his mud, but in this case, Naru is using a plant that is basically turning her blood cold,
essentially making her into a cold-blooded hunter.
Which I will say real quick, and it's a stealthy way of what she did to get closer to the Predator, is all I'm going to say.
Also, I give it an 8.5 out of 10 because of certain elements, and I like the fact that they brought this very same flintlock pistol into this fucking movie and teased it as an Easter egg. That was good. And what else?
Well, did anybody catch on that the mask is actually from one of the Predators from Predators?
I didn't. I was wondering what that mask was. I figured it was some kind of creature from this planet or something.
Yeah, it was like the same mask from one of the Predators from Predators. So I thought that was kind of a unique little touch. So it basically symbolizes So when I first saw that mask, I kind of thought of it as the old school concrete jungle predator. Because I was mentioning that to Tessa when we were talking about that. That's what it reminded me of. It's like that old concrete jungle predator look. I don't know how many people like remember that, but that to me would more like the feral predators, kind of like what this guy was, or what this predator was. He was more feral.
Yes, he is. He was actually a specific. He was a specific type of predator. I think the Yadatuja, called the feral predator. The specific type of predator was Yadatuja.
I knew he was a type of predator, and I couldn't remember if it was a rank or if it was the style.
It's like a tribe.
Yeah.
I think it's like a tribe type of thing. But like after I watched that movie, I'm like, I seriously think that this guy is like my new favorite fucking predator. Like specifically for the fact that he used, like Dustin said, he was a hunter. He was a hunter. Like he didn't rely solely on technology and stealth and bullshit. He just went all in and hunted, and it was just great. It was like you got right down to like the origins of this species and what they started out as. You saw like what they started out as, and I'm guessing with the other bullshit films or whatever, except for the first two, you see them like evolve. But I don't know, I'm kind of more into what they start out as. That's more authentic to me than the technological bullshit they become. I mean, yeah, some of the aspects of what they become technologically advanced is good, okay? But like, I honestly like the warrior hunter aspect of them.
Yeah, I like I think it was in Predators, right, where you first learn about like the different tribes or versions of there's different like I don't know how to put it, like different predators. You have like the older ones and like newer ones or something like that.
The ancients and like the newcomers or the new Borbs or the rogue and the hybrids and stuff like that. There's only one other predator that I like, and that's wolf. That's like the only other predator that I like.
Is that from Predators?
I think he was from Predators.
Wolf was Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, Alien versus Predator. He's the only other predator that I liked.
That's like when I was a kid, I used to think, I wonder what the predator homeworld is like, and what other predators are there like predator businessmen, and are they all just hunters? But
predator females.
But like when you see the Predators movie and they start to explain some of that, it's like I really didn't need to know all that. I would rather just not know. It's just a creature that comes to Earth to hunt big game, and that's what this movie gave me. It didn't have all these subplots or this huge backstory or anything. It's just this creature comes to hunt, and he starts off hunting wolves, and then he works his way up, and then I'm assuming he was fighting the trappers earlier because they already knew about him or something. But like when he sees Naru, I think's her name, for the first time, it was almost like he was looking at a human for the first time. Like, this is what I'm going to be hunting next, or something like that. I don't know, but I'm assuming by the way they were talking, they had already had a run-in with the Predator.
So I'm gonna agree with you. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that, just because of the fact of when we see the shot of Naru going into the open field, we see like the skin buffalo, and then she picks up a cigar. That big bearded guy, and I'm not even making this up. Okay, so the IMDb, what do we call that guy that had the cigar? Big beard. So I guess that's where Yeah, and did you think that's bad? The other guy, apparently, I don't. I'm trying to figure out which one this is. I think it was the guy that was trying to talk to Naru when she was in the cage, but they call him Wax Mustache.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, when I was looking up his name in the credits.
Yeah, he just goes by Wax Mustache.
Yeah.
So no clever name there, but no, I would say that that's probably where they would know because of the cigar right there. So I don't know. Maybe they watched the predator skin all these buffaloes. I mean, I don't know. I thought that was clever though when Naru was checking out the cigar, and then the predator uh, comes and picks up the same cigar that she did while she is being hunted by the predator.
Yeah,
I thought
Actually,
that was
they say in the movie that it's the trappers that skinned the buffalo. It wasn't
Yeah.
the
oh
predator.
whatever.
Well,
That's
Well,
they're
anyways-
assholes.
well, anyway,
Yeah,
she
they
was
are.
out there tracking him, and he was out there tracking her.
I mean, either way though, it's kind of weird though because I feel like the trappers almost like the trappers had to have known what the predator had done too, right? Like because we
They
all
said
know.
that.
Yeah, and I mean, so like, was that a way then of the trapper to basically say like, "Hey, look, this is what the predator did," you know, like come find him or something, like, trying to make him more of like, this is why you need to go after him more or something. Kind of like what us Americans do, we try to figure out a way to basically blame something else, and then we all go against it because that's what we do. Did I say that on the air? Yes, I did. Whoops. But no, I thought that was kind of clever. Jared, you've been quiet. So what do you think of
Well,
this whole like predator tracking her and everything?
I I found it interesting the whole time because you could tell that he was trying to gauge her and trying to figure out whether or not she was worthy of the kill that he was looking for because he 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 didn't hesitate with her brother or any of the other guys that he all the other warriors that he was taking out and everything you could tell no hesitation he knew they were worth the kill, whereas for her he was trying to figure her out, and it was a really cool almost I don't know if the word that I'm looking for is like is it worthy was it like
He was trying to dissect her, yes, to see if she was worthy, but he was also studying her because he was
trying to figure
watching.
her out.
Yeah, he was trying to figure her out because if you guys remember her axe, remember how she was throwing her axe with her hand and then she got creative and she made like this rope
Started
thing
using
and
the rope.
attached it to
Yes.
the axe, and she was learning things, and she was learning how to be a better hunter, and he was watching her kind of evolving and getting better as a hunter. He's like, so at first he didn't show any interest in her because he's like, human, not a threat. But as he was watching her and tracking her and studying her, he was like noticing that she was getting better as a hunter, and he's like, maybe I'll just watch her some more. And then,
He was watching her like, give me a reason, bitch.
yeah, give me a reason. Yep, give me a reason.
Well, just to tap in on this discussion real quick too. Don't forget, you guys, like when Naru had that axe with the rope because she was getting creative with her weapon to withdraw them back to her hand quicker rather than throw it, miss, and then she had to go running after it. And then, by then it's like, where did the bunny rabbit go? Because she was at first trying to kill the rabbit. So
Yeah, she's wasting too much time.
yeah, so when her brother and the party came to go find her, you that's when the predator not only was watching, but he noticed that they took her weapon away. And that's when they became more of a threat too, besides of the fact that they have bows and arrows, especially since they drew the arrows on him too, which I thought that was very interesting. Of like one of them kind of saw the invisibleness and he shot the arrow, and you kind of saw like that little stick, like the invisible arrow getting stuck in thin air. I thought that was kind of interesting, and then right then and there, that's when that was game over for him. You saw the little lasers, and then the arrow came darting out, and it was just like, oh shit, here we go, we're about to see a bloodbath, and
Can we
kind of did.
just can we just state for the record though that every single one of them in that
Deserved
group
it.
fucking deserved it. Every one of them.
Oh,
100%.
100%.
I was
Comanche.
so happy. I was so
Without a-
freaking happy to see that bloodbath. I was like, oh, yes.
You talking about the Comanche or the Trappers?
The Comanche.
Comanche.
But I also
Yeah,
loved the fucking Trapper one, too, because that was fucking pretty cool.
I did love how the Comanche weren't just pushovers though. Like they had their position for a reason. They was giving it to the Predator for a second, but
Yeah, for a second.
and they were not scared. That
Second.
was one thing about Naru, is that she was as good a fighter as the rest of them, but she didn't have like necessarily the fight IQ. So when they saw the Predator, they went straight into attack mode. When everybody was wiped out, she thought about it and she ran. She hesitated with the Predator. She hesitated with the Lion. So I mean, that's real character development by the end of the movie when she actually goes face to face with the Predator.
Well, don't forget the lion knocked her out.
Right?
The brother did have to drag her back home, which
But she had the right approach with the lion, though.
she did.
Yeah.
Oh,
She had
She
the
did.
right approach.
she
It
did.
was just the follow through because obviously it got fucked up. But
Yeah, she hesitated
she
for
was
too
doing.
long,
Yeah, she hesitated too long.
but her plan
and she
worked.
did- Yeah,
Yep, because that's what her brother said. She had the right. You had the right idea, but I ended up doing it because you weren't. I forget how her brother worded it. Like you weren't quick enough or something. Like you just weren't. You weren't
you
ready.
hesitated.
Yeah, you
You
hesitated.
hesitated.
Yes. And if we're gonna go into kills about the trappers, then can we just say that the
The fucking bear trap.
bear trap
Yes.
is probably the best kill
Oh,
of that whole
yeah.
thing?
The fucking
Like-
bear trap. We were just like, we both looked at each other after that and we're like,
Yes.
what?
What? That really just happened?
Like, yes. Loved it.
Worth it right there. I don't care if that costed $1 million to make that happen. That was amazing.
That was a money shot.
That was definitely a money shot. All right. Jared, is there anything that we haven't even touched on yet that you feel like we should actually talk about before we kind of get into probably the ending a little bit?
Oh. Let me think about that.
I loved her war paint.
Yeah, the war
Especially
paint
the
was
war
nice.
paint at the end.
What about the Predator's technology? What'd y'all think of that? I like that.
I like that
I was
fucking
about to-
shield thing.
the shield, the
The
bolts.
Fucking
shield-
shield thing. I was like, yes. I was like, where was this fucking thing?
Didn't need it in later ones.
Yeah, I did.
No.
The
It
shield
was
was the
fucking-
best.
Go ahead,
Loved the
Jared.
shield.
No, I was disagreeing that the shield was a badass thing, but what I really liked was those
The balls, like the explosion
the
balls.
balls that when the trappers go to pick the one up and everything, and they're trying to figure it out, and when they activated it, and I was like, oh, they're fucked. And then they next thing you know, you see the explosion.
Funny you say that because Paul and I said the same fucking thing when they were messing around with those. We looked at each other and we're like, they're so fucked.
Yeah, I thought that was like the self-destruction thing at first, and then when I saw like he ripped that one part off, and it was still counting down right before the like ball stuff came up into the air, which I thought that was a nice little touch. It definitely confused the trappers, that's for sure. It was like, what the hell? Pew! And then the explosion goes off. Like, well, they're dead. They're
Yeah.
dead. But yeah, I do have to agree. The shield was a really nice touch. I liked how I liked how even with the shield, it kind of resembled even the bone mask. Like especially that one trapper that aimed his gun to his the predator's head, and then the predator just like stopped and just gets a little bit closer. Like, come on, like shoot me, you bitch! Like, see what happens. And then he pulls the trigger, and the bullet ricochets off his mask, and just kills him instead. And we're just like, wow, like that. Talk about like how strong that piece of bone really is. Like that gotta be that's pretty strong if you can ricochet a bullet back and kill the person that shot it.
I
Yeah.
loved that mask, though. I seriously did. I loved
Oh,
that
it was
mask.
a badass mask.
It was so badass. And then when you saw his actual face, I was like, what? I'm like, this guy, holy shit. Like,
Yeah, this guys have been some battling for a little bit, I would say. As Dustin would point it out earlier, starting off with wolves and then working his way up.
well, he was looking for the biggest, baddest thing in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Working his way up the ladder, and that's exactly what he did. I will say, though, the fucking bear fight, though, when he fucking, like, rips into the bear and you could just see the blood coming down him. Like, I was like, okay, I see you.
I see you, and I raised you. I raised you, Naru. Which I feel like that was like the first part when the predator really started to want to start tracking her was after that bear fight, because that's when he notices that she's in the water swimming away, and that's when I think he would more like, okay, she's here like near me again, like I need to track this bitch now. Yeah. Um. Hmm. I'm trying to think. So what did anybody like have anything to say about I guess the trappers like little camp, like where they held Naru and basically tortured her brother just to get some answers. I thought that was just like a little interesting, just a little bit, but not really, because I thought we were gonna see like and they were gonna try to poke her in the cage, because that's how Americans work too. They just poke the bear basically. I thought we were gonna maybe see that. Well, I think they tried to, and then that's when Naru actually grabbed back and like did something.
Yeah,
like
pretty
instead.
much like get the fuck away from me type of vibe.
Yeah, and that's what pissed off Big Beard Man. Basically, that basically almost wanted to shoot her right then and there, and Waxed Mustache was like, no, let me talk to her.
So let me ask you guys something. What about when Tao and Naru were going against the Predator together? Their fluidity, their movements.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I thought
It was really well
her
done.
brother's name was Tao.
Tao, yeah, that was
Yeah, I
Naru's brother.
He had his he was like war chief or something like that. I felt
Yeah.
like he really deserved that by the way he was going after the Predator. And
I actually thought at one point they were going to get them together, but then I
Yeah.
was like, well, wait, as
I
much
wouldn't
as
have
I
minded.
want that,
I
as
liked
much,
him.
yeah, I liked Tao too, but I was like, oh no, not him when like the unfortunate befell him. But I also think that by doing that, I think that was like a purpose move on the Predator, almost kind of like a nudge to Naru, like, okay, come on. I just took the most important thing away from you.
Well, I
What are
think
you
that
going to do about it?
He specifically knew that's who he needed to take out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like he knew.
That was the
It's
best
like
fighter.
I need to push Naru over the edge. I need to get her to take the most important thing away from her.
He did tell Naru that if she did not hesitate, that mountain lion would have been hers because her plan would have worked. Or her plan worked, but, like, he was trying to say it as if she was more focused, didn't hesitate, she would have had him, for sure. And I think that was really the start of it, too. Because when he became war chief, Naru basically got pissed because that's what she wants.
Well, of course she was angry because it was her plan and her brother took advantage of it and didn't really credit her for helping him with it because
Yes, he did at first. He said, we took it out. But then she's like, no, you did.
Well, personally, I feel with that, he was trying to protect her. It wasn't that he was trying to get one over on her, be vindictive toward her. I think he was just trying to protect her because he doesn't think that she's ready to fight those things.
He was
being a little harsh on her. Yeah, he was being a little harsh on her.
Just
to keep her from tough love, just to keep her out of danger.
Yeah,
I don't think he was trying to take advantage of her with by not admitting or to everybody that it was actually her plan.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm talking about before you guys started talking about that was, I think the Predator purposefully took Tao away from Naru because he wanted to push her over the edge and make her become a threat. He wanted to push her into being the proper hunter. So
right, and I got that.
Yeah, take the most important thing away from her, and what do you got left to lose?
The dog. But thank God we didn't.
Well, yeah, thank goodness. No, but I mean,
well, the whole tribe got basically. Well, the whole tribe party or whatever.
The hunter party got wiped out.
Oh yeah, they got wiped out completely. Which it makes me wonder though. Like, did they have anybody else that was considered war party worthy? I guess. Or were all these people that just got wiped out? Was that it? Did they have to start over? That makes me wonder.
Yeah, well, that also makes me wonder. But if in the beginning of the movie they were trying to make Naru into a medicine woman or a forager or whatever, they didn't want her. Her tribe didn't want her to be a hunter. She wanted to go through the Kambachi, the rite of passage, to prove herself that she could be a proper hunter. That's what she wanted more than anything.
Right.
Because she didn't want them to see her as something that, how do I put this? She wanted to prove to the hunting party that she could hunt too, that she wasn't beneath them, that they couldn't belittle her, that she was just as much of a hunter as they are. And that kind of pissed me off just a tidbit when they were belittling her before they all got taken out and had their asses handed to them by the Predator.
Well, I also feel like Naru also might have been the only one that actually knew what to do when it came to the medicine, right? I mean, I can't really recall of anybody else
besides her grandmother or whoever.
Yeah.
She actually paid attention to the smallest details about plants and things that other people neglected to pay attention to. She knew exactly what medicine what plants and flowers that she needed to make the medicine that she needed to take care of her tribe. Half of the idiots that are the hunters didn't know what to do, and they needed Naru, even though most of them didn't want to admit that they needed her.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened when the egos kind of push out a little bit more. I'm better than everybody.
Well, yeah, talking out their ass. That's okay.
So, Jared, did you want to say something real quick, or were you just laughing? I just
I
want to
was
make
just
sure.
laughing.
Okay. So before I think we do touch on the ending, let's talk about the one part real quick where we have the one trapper that is trying to get Naru's help because of the medicine. Um, Once again, I'm sure so Tessa and I, this was another scene that Tessa and I were kind of talking about a little bit. So we were wondering, even though that Naru gave him the plant that would
Oh,
turn
we're
his
talking about waxed mustache, aren't we?
yes, and how his body was cold, but yet the predator could tell like the blood was still freshly warm, even though the body was cold. So as Naru was trying to hide and everything, he's basically bleeding out at this point, but his body is showing like coldness, like he's not alive. So one thing that Tessa and I were thinking about is if the predator did not step on him, because I'm assuming that's exactly what happened. Is that it was almost like I'm wondering if the predator kind of looked at the blood, looked at the body, and kind of did, I'm gonna just you know touch him or step on him and see what happened to make sure she's really actually dead. And then because he got stepped on, he screamed, and then that's what basically got him to die. But let's go back a little bit before then. He wanted her help, and in exchange, that's where the pistol comes in. And he wanted to show her how to use the pistol. So, real quick, Dustin, what did you think about this part with Naru trying to help Wax Mustache, while Wax Mustache is basically trying to teach her how to use the gun?
Uh, I mean, I thought it was cool. What you were saying about him stepping on him, whether it was on purpose or by accident, I think that would be like super interesting if he did it on purpose. But
That's what I'm thinking.
from what I watched in the movie, I don't think they gave any indication that he knew what he was doing. I think that would have been a really interesting way of going about it, though. If he was like just stepping on the bodies or something like that, I think that would have been pretty funny. But
I think it would have been.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
That's interesting.
yeah, with the flintlock pistol and everything, the whole thing with the trappers, like, I guess that's really my only complaint with the movie is that the trappers come out of nowhere essentially, and they're kind of just put there to add to the body count. But that was like my favorite set piece of the movie was the burnt forest or the ashes and all that. I loved all that, and I was okay with them just adding more bodies for the body count. But I do feel like they just come out of nowhere, basically. All the trappers. We see she steps in the bear trap, and the predator decides not to attack her because she's trapped, and that's not how he hunts. He likes to fight. He doesn't want to catch things in traps and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I will add to that. I liked how the predator he picked up like that piece of
Right.
metal chain of the trap, kind of looking at it like, like I don't know if he was studying it or if he knew what it was, but either way, it was just like,
He
like
left her alone. Yeah.
yeah, like like this is the trap. Like, yeah, that's not
Yeah.
fair. What did you think, Jared?
Oh, well, I was going to add on to. I felt that he knew it was, in a way, he knew it was a trap and everything, and that, like the way he examined it, he was just determining if it was worth it or not. To release her, because I was wondering if he was going to cut the chain, because in a way, like releasing her would get her back up and running, and more of a chance for him to hunt her more. But that's just a thought of mine.
No, that's a good point. And speaking of which, I don't even think any of us have even touched on that. But what did everybody think about the part where we kind of saw the bird's eye view looking down of when Naru was trying to run through the grass, and we just see the beeline of how fast Predator is catching up to her. Like that was
He's
cool,
fucking
and
running at her like a fucking freight train. It was ridiculous.
That was very suspenseful. I didn't know how
I
they were
was
gonna
like,
get out of that
holy
one.
shit. I was like, she's gonna get railed.
It reminded me of Jurassic Park 2 with the raptors running through the field.
that's exactly
Oh,
what I thought
yeah.
of too. I don't know if that was supposed to be like a nod to that or not, but still, I took it as a nod because I thought that was just brilliant. But yeah, that was fast as hell though. The freight train, yeah.
Yeah.
All hands on deck. Because when that collide, look out. Um, yeah. Once again, it's almost like with any predator though, right? Like they don't want the prey to basically have like a low advantage. They want to hunt it like it's supposed to be hunted. And in this case, she got trapped. Not worth it, so he walked away. It would have been more interesting if he would have stayed there though when the colonist trappers showed up, because I'd like to have seen like what he would have done there. Like, would he have attacked them? Because they had guns, so would they? He would have had to have seen them as a threat. You
Yeah.
know, it kind of goes back to when he was watching Naru when her party was trying to bring her home, right? Like they made her no threat, but then they became more of a threat because, well, now she's a captive. They took her weapon. So would that have kind of gone into the same aspect here because they had more guns? I mean, I don't know. Would have been interesting, I guess. That's my only other complaint, I guess.
Yeah, that goes back to them not really introducing the trappers as much, like giving them as much of a story. I think, because I think if the predator had just killed them right there while she was knocked out or whatever, we wouldn't have had all those cool scenes in the burnt forest and all that. So I think the filmmakers were just like, we'll just cut to the next scene. We won't explain where the predator went. We won't explain what happened with the trappers, if he was still there watching them and stuff. So
Yeah, the only thing we just know is that the trappers know what the predator is, basically. Could
right.
sound like we were saying. He sounds like they've dealt with it, him or one before, and yeah. So for all I know, these guys were part of the early settlers, right before they wiped out the Indians. Because again, um, that's basically talking history. But so I think we'll start to wrap this up a little bit. So Jared, we'll start with you this time. So for the finale, right when we finally get that last fight where Naru is preparing the mud pit, what are your final thoughts about the ending?
It was almost reminiscent of their first movie for me. Um, in the way of the mud pit, basically. But the whole leading up to her leading her to the bog there, it was really, for me, it was really well done, and I appreciate how the way she led him into it and setting up his own technology to be his demise. Was really well done and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah.
Tessa, I know you want to talk about this one. So what are your final thoughts about Naru using his own equipment against him?
I actually thought it was very clever how she used his own technology against him. I enjoyed it. I was just like, I see you're clever. You use the quicksandy mud pit to get him stuck and line up the shot, making him think he's going to take you out. Meanwhile, his technology is carefully placed elsewhere so that when he targets on her, he takes out himself. So she didn't even have to, technically, she didn't even have to lift a finger to kill him. All she did was set it up and he took himself out.
Dustin, your
very
final
well
thought. Yes, it was pretty good. Dustin, what do you think?
So my favorite Star Wars movie was Return of the Jedi. So of course I love when she Ewoks him. It's just nature versus technology.
Yes.
But
I didn't even think of that.
I get that they were. It
Yeah.
was a callback to the first movie, the traps and the come on, do it.
Come on, do it now. I at first thought it was interesting because when he first dove, I'll just say dove into the mud pit, right, and kind of sinked really down into the mud. I was like, oh boy. And then when he started to kind of come up out of the mud, I was like, oh shit, like this, like she is screwed. But then when she was able to get him stuck in the mud just right, and as Tessa said, basically take himself out, that was even more clever too because of the angle the mask was making um, the ammunition from the mask or wherever it shot out of, basically like hit this, hit that again, come back down, hit this, and then head right to the predator's head to take him out. But so let's even go back a little bit too, like when she was setting up the trap. And then she would like dodging the trees, and then the predator hit like the spikes from that were hanging or being hung from the trees, kind of making the predator work for her, but also trying to weaken the predator at the same time, which is a very nice touch and a nod to the first film as well with the traps with Arnold. Come on, do it now. Yeah. So I thought that was nice. Otherwise, did anybody else here besides me think that was a little bit too predictable? And did anybody even want the Predator to survive, or did you like the fact that the Predator got killed?
I don't know. I was kind of 50-50. Part of me wanted him to survive and to take Naru out, but then that would also be too predictable. But I like the fact that we got to see Naru grow as a hunter and outsmart the killer. But
I don't think anybody's gonna get that reference, but I certainly did.
Yes, of course you did. But she was very calculated in how she did everything. She thought it out ahead of time. She knew what she was going to do. Like Dustin said, she Ewoked him.
I'm gonna have to start saying that now.
And she may have not have delivered the final blow herself. He did that to himself, but everything else was calculated and like precise. Like she just I loved how she thought it out. She just knew what she needed to do and where she needed to position herself and everything right down to the last final move. It was just perfect. I mean, yeah, it was predictable in some ways, but it was also clever in others, and I think we can all agree with that. I love how Jared comes in with the yeah.
I'm gonna say, come on, Jared.
Background. Come on, Jared.
Come on, Jared. No, yeah. I mean, I don't know. So Jared, what do you think? Did you want the Predator to live? Did you not want the Predator to live?
I was half expecting them. This is what I was half expecting them to kill each other. I thought it was going to be some kind of either a stalemate, or I thought towards the end that the humans were going to lose and we were going to actually see the Predator win for once. But I was still satisfied with the way they ended it, to be completely honest. Like, Amber Mid-Thunder is a freaking badass, and I would love to see her in more movies. So now, so I was, in the end, I was satisfied with it. So.
Yeah, she did do a good job to the point where I definitely want to look up more movies that she's in. The other thing that I liked about Prey is that this is a movie that was fully cast with Native Americans. I thought that was
Yeah.
brilliant, and hopefully we get to see more of that in a way. Like, I don't know if we could ever see like a sequel with Naru again, but I mean, why the hell not? We got like, what is it, Scream 2 or something when they brought back Sydney, or was that 3? I forget. But anyway, everybody gets the point. I mean, we'll get the new Halloween. Like, how many times do we gotta bring back Jamie Lee Curtis?
They got to
Anyway,
reboot the timeline every time they bring her back.
ain't that the truth? Because when we try to kill her off, we gotta undo that. Ay, ay, ay.
But yeah, talking about the predictability of Prey, I think like Predator movies have a formula that we like. Predator comes, Predator hunts, humans discover the Predator, and Predator kills them off one by one until we get a final girl, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he comes toe to toe with Predator, and they have to kill the Predator. Usually, the Predator ends up killing himself, at least in the first 2 movies, and in this one. But like when it deviates from that formula, they lose me. With AVP, they lost me. With Predators, they kind of lost me. With them, which I like Predators fine enough. The Predator, like I said, it was like Jason Voorhees, I guess. I only watched 15 minutes of the movie, so I don't know. But so that's like a detriment to the Predator franchise, is that there's a formula that they have to follow for me to like it. And if they deviate, I won't like it. But at the same time, it's going to be predictable because they have to follow the formula.
Well, I at least will give credit to the Predator of trying to continue where Alien versus Predator Requiem left off, which was basically the government getting a hold of some of the Predator weapon, and that's exactly where the Predator started, basically.
Okay. The Predator.
So I will at least give a nod to that they were trying to continue the story, since we never did get a third Alien versus Predator. Kind of like we never got a third movie for the stupid Prometheus and Alien Covenant. We never even got Alien Awakening or whatever the hell that third movie was supposed to be. But we'll see. We'll see. So anyway, yeah, I think before we start like talking out the ass of shit stuff that we might have already talked about and bore ourselves even more. But so to wrap things up is, so Jared, I know you kind of said your score again, but let's hear it one more time. And would you recommend Prey, and why?
I think I gave it the highest score out of anybody on here, but I gave it a 9 out of 10. Because it kept my attention throughout the whole film. It was, the actors and actresses were phenomenal in it. Story was good, and all out action. It was a great Predator film. I thoroughly enjoy it, and I would definitely recommend it.
Dustin?
So I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. I do think, as much as I've seen Predator 2 probably the most out of all of them, because it was always like on TNT and stuff, and when I was a kid. But I would say this one is better than Predator 2, in my opinion. I think it is anyway. As much as I like Predator 2, it's probably about the same. I think it's the second best sequel, honestly. But one thing I do want to ask everybody, with the knowledge that that is the pistol at the end of Predator 2, do you guys think that the Predator just came and killed all the Comanche at the end of this movie? Because if you watch the credits, it has it at the bottom that all the ships come and they it shows them like looking up in the sky. Do you think that they killed them to get their pistol back?
Ooh. See,
Or
so
did they
I
just come?
think there was another hunt.
I almost feel like that was the teaser for the sequel.
Do y'all want to see it? Well, Tessa can answer that one too about the pistol. But do y'all want to see a sequel with the same characters?
I wouldn't mind. I mean,
I wouldn't mind seeing it with like continue with Naru and stuff like that and see where it goes.
yeah, I definitely would like to see more of how she would grow as a leader now. Because, she fought one and she can kind of warn other Comanche tribes of, how to basically fight better, right? Like now that she kind of seen this invisible predator, just I'm trying to figure out how she would probably look at it, like this invisible high tech creature that basically wiped out her whole tribe and could have wiped out more, but she ended up, becoming the final girl aspect of winning over the bigger prey.
Yeah, personally, instead of doing a sequel with the same cast, as much as I liked everybody and I liked Amber Mid Thunder, I would like to see the Predator like what, like 100 years later in the 1800s. This was the 1700s, right? Predator in the 1800s in freaking Japan or something like that. We don't always have to be in America. We could
That would be
go to
cool.
Japan or Germany or something, and he can go fight the Nazis.
Or we can just get samurai ninjas. That would be cool.
We kind of had that in Predator, so.
In a way, yes, we did, but I think we should see more of that.
Right. But I think it would be cool to have Predator. What if like that Primal cartoon? I don't know if y'all watch it, but have the Predator go back and fight a freaking caveman. No dialogue. I would have loved this movie if it was all in Comanche. By the way, but I would love a Predator movie with no dialogue, just facial expressions and action.
All right.
Grunts.
All right, Dustin. We found your next fan project to do. Get on it. Get on it.
Chop chop.
Yeah. So to continue, babe, just real quick for your final thoughts. Your rating again, and would you recommend it, and why?
8.5 out of 10. Yes, I would recommend it. Why? Because visually, it's just the atmosphere and everything is just fucking beautiful. The carnage is awesome. Use of different tactics as a hunter. The predator is badass. His weaponry that he chooses, especially that gnarly shield, which I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the picture of the predator holding the shield up about here on his face, his mask, there's a symbol on his mask that matches that fucking shield, the symbols on the shield. It all matches. I think Dustin might have mentioned it before, but yeah.
Nope. No, Dustin did not mention it.
You guys didn't notice that?
I guess not.
Yeah, I was looking at it on IMDb while you guys were talking, but I was looking through the photo album and stuff.
You cheated!
He's my favorite freaking predator. Shut your mouth.
Wow.
Right now.
Wow.
Van Damme's my favorite Predator.
Huh?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
What?
He's my favorite Predator.
Oh, man. Okay, on that note, so because of talking a little bit more about the shields and, as Jared
overall,
said,
it's just an awesome movie, okay?
and just overall keeping the attention, This movie
Yeah,
had
keeping
my
the
attention
attention.
really good, more than the Predator did. So you know what? I'm gonna bump up my score to 8.5 at least. So and why? Because yes, it is definitely worth the watch of the hour and 39 minutes or hour and 40 minutes if you want to round it up. And yeah, it definitely poison to the eyes. Whereas the
Yeah.
Predator was like a chokehold of a smackdown waiting to happen. I guess I don't know. It was just terrible, and Dustin can tell you that because he only saw 15 minutes of it.
Yeah, and pray you'll keep your attention. You won't regret it. You'll enjoy it. You'll find you're bound to find something about it that you like, if not multiple things, like we all did.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And the
go
dog
watch
doesn't
it.
die.
And the
And
dog
the
does
dog
not
doesn't die. The doggy doesn't die. The dog
Lots of other
kicks
animals do.
ass.
Oh,
Lots
yeah,
of other animals do.
Yeah.
I kind of felt bad for the wolf.
I felt bad
Kinda.
for the bear.
A little
just
bit.
a little bit. Yeah, that bear
Well,
got it.
the animals didn't
I don't
deserve it.
feel bad for that fucking bear. That bear was gonna eat the dog. Fuck that bear. Uh-uh.
Well, I didn't know we needed to see the Predator do like the Hulkamania like thing, like as
He
the
saved the dog. Okay, he saved the dog.
Sure, yes, he definitely saved the dog.
That's how I'm gonna see that. He saved the dog. The bear had it coming.
The bear, I guess, really had it coming. So yeah. On that note, I'm done. I think we all exhausted ourselves, and even more. It's definitely check it out. It's on Hulu. I think it's on Stars. I think I heard if you have Disney subscription, I guess, or it Stars. I don't know how that works. And apparently, at some point, it will be coming to Disney Plus at a later date.
And
So-
IMDb gave it a base rating of 7.2 or 7.5 out of 10.
That's pretty solid then. Yeah, it's still a pretty solid film. It makes me wonder what Rotten Tomato rated it as and where it's at. Right now.
Rotten Tomatoes is the 90 something.
Yeah, it's like a 92, I think.
Yeah, it's the highest rated. It is the highest rated Predator film in history.
Good. It deserves it.
Deserves it. It's beautifully done.
Yeah, it's higher than the original Predator film
That
on Rotten Tomatoes.
So
shocking and awesome.
kudos to the director of this film. You did a good job, sir.
He made 10 Cloverfield Lane. That Dan Trachtenberg.
Yes.
Yep.
And that was another reason why I was looking forward to this movie because I didn't really mind 10 Cloverfield Lane, even though it didn't really feel like a Cloverfield movie, but until near the end. But whatever, it is what it is. It was a nice touch to it, as I may say. But anyway, before I blab on anymore, the last thing I want to say before I say my goodbye to everybody listening and all the losers that are on here with me is that. Right now, Predator's Hunting Ground actually just came out with a DLC with the Bone Mash Predator from Prey. So you can actually get the DLC right now and play the new Bone Mash Predator.
Yatuja, the feral predator.
The Pharaoh. Yeah. I think they called them the Bone Mash Predator on the DLC, but whatever. But yeah, apparently.
The Yatuja would have sounded cooler.
As long as we can get the shield and stuff and start blocking the gunfire, be like, that would be kind of dope. Maybe I can walk up to somebody and be like, "Shoot me in the face, bitch," and then maybe you'll make ricochet off and kill them. Now that would be hilarious.
And then you fall into a bog.
Yeah, why not? But anyway, on that note, my name was Paul Dolsky tonight, and I was joined by.
Tessa Baker.
Also joining by. Yeah.
And Cannibal Kidd, Dustin Walker.
All right. And remember, everybody, to keep your eyes open to the skies because you just never know if you might see a predator swinging by. And until next time, stay scary.
Scary.